guys. For those of you who I don't know, my name is Kat. But if you're here, there's a very good chance that you already know me. So I've designed this free class series of yoga, breathwork, and meditation at a time when we're all experiencing this quarantine. And full transparency is that I feel like I need this class just as much as all of you do, and that especially during a day in which things have gone wrong left and right, and frustration and obstacles just seem to build. It has never felt like a better time to focus on creating more of a cohesion between our thinking mind and this innate body wisdom that we have available to us. And so this practice is going to be a fairly brief, fun flow that's designed for people of all levels, whether you've done yoga before or you haven't. But it's truly just a way for us to perhaps spend a little less time up here and a little more time everywhere in our bodies, in our hearts, and in our minds. So when you're ready, I invite you to find a comfortable seat. And if you'd like to lay on your back, if you're feeling a little tired or a little sensitive, then please, by all means, make yourself feel at home. Go ahead and close your eyes. Scan your body from head to toe. And taking inventory of how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally. And without assigning any judgment, begin to create this space for yourself in which you can meet yourself exactly as you are. And feel the breath move in through the nose. And breathe it out, perhaps through the mouth. And slowly bringing your hands together in front of your heart. You'll begin to gently rub the hands together so that you start to feel some friction, like you're gently rubbing sandpaper together. And as you continue, you'll notice that you begin to create a little bit more heat. Start to increase the pace so that you can continue to increase that heat. Rubbing the hands together a little bit faster. And then slowly releasing the hands just a few inches apart until you feel that vibration or that energy. And you'll slowly close the eyes and place the palms right over your eye sockets. Feel the top ridge of your hand resting on your eyebrows. The heel of your hand gently pressing against the top ridge of your cheekbones, your nasal cavities. And allow the eyes to soften into the eye sockets. And soften the shoulders, the muscles of your face and of your neck. And know that we're so much more than just our thinking minds. We're these beautifully complex sensory organisms. And we're constantly taking in feedback and information from all over our body and our environment. So as we cut off this one sense, for the next few moments, I invite you to investigate where else you're experiencing that feedback. Become aware of sensation and drink it all in. Again, without assigning any value or judgment, notice where you can most easily experience that sensation, and perhaps even linger in the spots where it's a little bit more difficult or less obvious. And take another breath in and breathe it all out. And with the eyes closed, slowly peel your hands off your face. Maybe just rest your palms along your side, or place one hand on your heart. The other can rest on your belly, or for today, you can choose to rest it on the crown of your head. Just letting the sensation of the hand resting on your body guide you to where you need to let your attention rest as well. And slowly releasing the hands, keeping the eyes closed. Let's gently move into a child's pose. With your toes untucked and the knees as wide as you need them to be, to thread your torso in between your thighs. Just allow the head, the neck, and the forehead to relax down onto the mat. Slowly rocking the head from side to side. You can grab the ankles and the heels if that feels nice. You're also welcome to walk the hands forward and feel a stretch in the front of your chest, along the sides of the shoulders, and the back of the heart. And take a deep belly breath in. Exhale it out through the mouth. And slowly lift yourself up onto hands and knees. Landing the shoulders over the wrists and spreading the fingers wide. Even dialing the pinkies out slightly on an angle so that the front of the chest broadens and expands. And just give everything a little bit of a shake. And sliding the hips forward and back. You're welcome to close the eyes. Just feel this gliding motion in the low body, leaving a gentle tone in your navel. And don't worry about what it looks like, but allow yourself to be more concerned simply with how it feels. And I'm on camera, so that's saying a lot. Good. Return back to your neutral position, and then you'll gently just wiggle the feet, shake them out a little bit. And curl the toes under and untuck them. And curl the toes under again and untuck. And curl them under once more. And this time, as you press down into your hands, hover the knees up off the floor and squeeze the heels of the hands in towards the knees. And feel the belly contract and pull in. And those muscles isometrically contract. So imagine you are trying to shrivel up the mat in between your hands and your feet. Pull and squeeze in. And breathe into it. And then exhale, slowly release the knees down, keeping that gentle tone in the navel. Pull your heart through, lift your sit bones high, maybe untuck your toes. And let's round up and back to cat. And inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale, round back. Return back to your neutral spine. And settle the weight down into your hands and your feet. And stretch your left leg back behind you. Keep the toes tucked down. And then slowly And spin onto the bottom of your left foot and peel the left arm up and overhead. Now gently squeeze the right shoulder blade back and keep pressing down into your knuckle mounds as you lengthen long and stretch. Good. Exhale, slowly release and roll right to the other side. You're welcome to tuck the bottom toes underneath you or keep them untucked. Maybe just explore your options. And slowly release. Roll right back to the first side. Pivot the left foot down. Breathe the left arm up. Shoulders are just gently engaged. Inhale to the right. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, left. Exhale, roll to the right. And on this next round, as you roll back onto the left side, float the left leg up and overhead. And you'll reach through the top arm so that there's one nice long line from fingertips to your toes. And pulling your belly in, do a little side crunch. Tap your left elbow to the left knee. Inhale, extend and reach. Exhale, hug in and tap. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hug and tap. Inhale, extend. Last time, exhale, hug in and tap. Slowly rolling yourself to the other side. Stretch your right leg back. Lift the right arm up. Sweep the right arm alongside of your ear as you float the right leg up. And then exhale, pull everything in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hug in. Twice more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hug in. And slowly release both hands down. And curl the toes underneath you and walk your hands back. And interlace your fingers and stretch your palms straight out in front of you. And you'll float the arms up and overhead and soften the shoulders and the muscles of your face. Notice if you're gripping anywhere in the upper body. This is quite a sensational place to be from the ground up. So if you feel any cramping or extreme discomfort in the toes, you can untuck them if you need. Otherwise, just hold here. Rise to the occasion. And press up through the palms of the hands and slide your ribs back and down. Feeling the length of your spine and the fullness of your breath. And slowly release your hands down. Give your shoulders and your arms a little shake, a little freestyle. And then slowly make your way into a downward facing dog. And as you land in your downward dog, start to squeeze into the L's of your hands. And feel the strength and the support of your arms. Start to bend your knees. Maybe you're pedaling out your feet from side to side. Maybe you're just kind of bouncing up and down. If there's tension in the neck, exhaling out through the mouth or a trill of the lips. It can help just to loosen things up. And breathe your right leg up and back behind you. Squeeze that right glute and stretch energetically through the right foot. And as you open the hip up, bend the knee and let that right leg hang. Pull the belly in. Softly bend your bottom knee and you'll start to draw big circles with your right knee. And slowly release the right foot back down to meet your left. Inhale and breathe the left leg up. Engaging that left glute, pull the belly in. Good. Bend the knee, open up the hip, and then start to draw those circles. You can keep a slight bend in the bottom knee if that gives you a little bit more room, especially if there's tightness in the low back. And then slowly release that left leg back down. Walk all the way forward. Softly bending the knees Let the head and the neck dangle down towards the floor. As you plug your feet down into the floor, inhale and breathe the arms up as I exit the frame. Because I'm big. Slowly bring your hands together in front of your heart. And twice more just like that. Inhale, sweep the arms up. You can sweep them out in the round. Exhale, take your hands to heart. I just don't have the room here. It's a wall in my way. Good. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, bend your knees. Hinge at the hips and fold forward. On your inhale, slide your hands up to your shins. Reach your sternum forward, pull the lower ribs back. And plant your hands down, bending your knees enough to get them there. Let's step all the way back into a plank pose. And in your plank, pull your navel in towards your spine. Feel the shoulder blades move apart from each other on their back as you press down into your hands and your feet. And lower the knees down to the floor. Shift the shoulders forward, bend the elbows back. Move your butt end away. Good. Wrap your shoulder blades back. And just curl your chest up a few inches up off of the mat. And exhale and release. Tuck your toes. And press yourself up and back into a down dog. And feel your hands and your feet. And press down into every part of your body that's touching the mat. And stretch your right leg up and back. And exhale, step it all the way through between both hands. And lower the back knee down to the floor. And squeeze the legs in as you stretch the arms up. And soften shoulders, soften face, and keep the column of your spine long. And exhale, release to touch the floor and step all the way forward to the top of your mat. Go a little bit wider if you need. Bend your knees enough to fold forward. Hands touch the floor. And slide your hands up to your shins. Breathe your spine long into a half lift. And exhale, fold. With strong legs and heavy feet, sweep the arms up and overhead. Look up, reach up and stretch. Exhale to pull your hands through to heart center. And close the eyes, press the palms and the finger pads against each other, and notice that connection and sensation. And inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, right leg reaches back. As you lower the back knee down, squeeze legs in, hug the low belly in and up, and stretch your arms up high to the sky. And slowly release your hands down. Quietly float your left foot up and back off the mat, so it's not like scraping back behind you. Here's your core. Good. Reach your chest forward. Press back through the heels. Slide the shoulders forward. Option to lower your knees to the mat. And then lower your chest right between your thumbs. And squeeze the shoulders towards each other as you curl your chest up. And exhale to release. Downward facing dog. When you're ready. Moving a little bit quicker through that lunging sun salutation, we'll add on a little bit more here. Inhale, breathe the right leg long, reach energetically through the foot, and then pull it all the way through. And lower the back knee down. And inhale, breathe the arms up. And let that right arm dangle. If you're not super tight in your front hip, it might reach the floor. Again, not a bad thing, just an experience. And you'll start to side bend to the left. If it doesn't reach the floor, you can either let it dangle or place your forearm on top of your right thigh. And slowly release, take both hands down, step forward. Inhale, half lift, and exhale to fold. And inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And inhale, sweep up. And exhale, bow forward. And inhale, half lift. Exhale, right leg steps back. Lower the back knee. Breathe the arms up. Pick your ribs up off of your hips. Feel that space in between them and let the left arm dangle. Reach long through that right arm and squeeze the left side body in. It can either touch the floor or balance on your left thigh. And exhale, slowly release. Step right back to plank or perhaps skip it. But try to make this nice and smooth. And slide forward. Bend the elbows straight back. Untuck your toes. Press down into your pelvis. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, and glide yourself back into your down dog. And landing back on your breath. Downward dog might not always be a place of rest. However, it can be this place of recalibration. A chance to check back in, to tune the instrument, and to adjust your focus right back to this moment. And from here, lift up onto your tiptoes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Hop, or maybe step, engaging the belly. All the way forward. That was a baby hop for me today. Good. And exhale, fold. And widen your feet a little bit farther apart from one another. And then you'll sweep the arms up. Not coming into a super low chair pose, but reaching your booty back and the crown of your head forward nonetheless, as if there was this golden cord that someone was pulling taut in either direction. And from here, load the weight into your heels. Hold this shape for another breath. And then on your exhale, this is one of my favorites, you'll straighten your legs and sweep the arms back. Inhale, chair. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, little hop. Exhale. Inhale, hop. Exhale. Inhale, hop. Exhale. Twice more. Inhale, hop. Exhale, a little quicker. Last time. Inhale, hop. Exhale, fold. And then on your next inhale, sweep the arms up. Hold Tadasana as you let your arms fall to your side. Just close the eyes. And soften your knees. And feel the energy percolating underneath your skin. And feel your heart beating in your chest. And you soften the shoulders away from the ears. And feel the internal structure and support that holds you here. And resilient as ever. And do your best to begin to smooth out your breath, making your inhale and your exhale a bit longer. And toning the muscles in the back of your throat to create a more resonant form of your breath. And slowly gather your hands together in front of your heart. And sit back into a little baby chair pose and lean to the right. Hover your left leg up off the floor. And squeeze your ribs and your belly in. And then slowly reach your left leg back behind you. The floor is uneven, obviously. Good. From here, stretch your arms up, high lunge. And breathe yourself open into Warrior Two. And allowing yourself a moment just to adjust, to settle into this shape. And as you look forward, over the front middle finger, can you reach back through the left arm? And straighten your right leg all the way. Squeeze the legs in and hinge yourself forward, tipping down into triangle pose. Maybe the hand lowers to the ankle or the shin, or perhaps it comes all the way down to the floor. As you squeeze the right outer hip underneath you as if you're scooping that right booty under, can you reach more through the crown of your head and the top arm? And find a breath here. And then bring your left hand to your hip, rebend the knee. And bring both hands to the hip. And straighten your right leg, point the toes towards the long edge of your mat. Pivot the heels in and bend the knees. And sink nice and low. Inhale the arms up. Grab hold of opposite elbows and press the knees apart from each other as you sink into goddess pose. Or maybe for guys, it's God pose. You can start to swivel the hips side to side. Get a little bit more liquidy and fluid. Wow, these are all very suggestive terms in your shape. Good inhale, breathe the arms back up. Press the legs straight, squeeze them in. Now slowly pivot yourself towards the back of your mat as you land in high lunge here. And squeeze the legs together. And pivot the back heel down. Open up warrior two. And landing that front knee right over the ankle. Broaden across the front of your pelvis and across the front of your chest. And squeeze your left leg in as you straighten it all the way. And slide forward, hinging at the hips into Trikonasana. And deepen full breath in here. And feeling the cohesion in the body as you allow yourself the space and the time just to listen, to recalibrate. And inhale and pick yourself back up. Hands come to the hips. Straighten your left leg. Pivot the toes forward. Heels turn in. And the hips sink down. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Grab opposite elbows, and maybe it's the non-dominant direction this time. And as you grab the elbows, feel this little lift, this little tug along the outer arms. And press the knees apart. One more breath in here. Feels fiery. Good inhale. Straighten and stretch everything up and away from the floor. And pivot yourself back to high lunge. Lower yourself all the way down. Plant the hands. Step back and flow through a vinyasa. And as we meet back in downward dog, consider what it's like to create this space and this shape as a place of reconnection. Notice without judgment again and again what's happening, what you're feeling. And breathe the right leg up. Exhale, step it through. And pivot the back heel down, passing by high lunge this time and coming right into warrior two. As you lower down into the right knee, feel that stretch across the front and the back of the body. And slowly straighten your right leg. Squeeze them in, hinge forward, reach, reach, reach. Tip all the way down, triangle pose. And as you lengthen through the left side, can you plug down into your feet more? Feel that connection to the ground and your support system underneath you. And bring your left hand to the left hip. Gaze down at your front foot. Keep that front foot glued to the mat as you slide yourself forward. And kick the left leg up. Engage that outer hip. Flex the toes. Lift it up against gravity and start to spin your chest forward. And you have the option to float the arm up and hold half moon. Or similarly to the shape that we made in the very beginning of our practice, bend the top knee into the chest. Grab hold of the top of your left foot and kick the left leg back behind you. And curl the chest forward, move your throat back, your head back. Ardha Chandra Chalapasana. And inhale, extend your left leg. Slowly lower the left hand down. And from here, come down into a low lunge and take a breath. And slowly float your arms up in line with the ears. And come on onto a diagonal and bring your hands together in front of your heart. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cinch the waistline in, squeeze the low ribs together and twist. Hooking the left elbow around the outer knee, perhaps lowering the back knee if this is very intense or sensational, or if you have any sensitivity in the low back. And wherever you are, just squeeze that point of contact between the outer right knee and the left elbow in towards each other. And engage your left glute. Keep that back leg straight and strong and roll the top shoulder back. Take another breath in. Slowly release. And bring both hands down and straighten your right leg. You can wiggle the front foot out or maybe shorten the distance between your feet. And inhale to lengthen the spine. Sternum reaches forward as the low ribs draw back. Exhale and fold. Notice if you're gripping or clenching, and soften enough to allow the breath to come and go. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, move yourself back downward facing dog. And inhale and float your left leg up and back. And exhale, step it all the way through. And I'm going to covertly walk myself to this side. So the left leg is forward, just so I'm not facing the wall. Warrior two. And land here. Feel your feet. Feel the floor rising up to meet them. And press your left leg straight and hug the legs in. And tip the pelvis forward as you reach forward. Dropping the left hand down. Maybe floating the right arm up or bringing it to the hip if that's not really great on your shoulder. And moving the left chest through as the right chest pulls back. Can you continue to lengthen through the crown of your head? And from here, gaze down into the left foot, bending into the front knee. Move yourself forward. Oh my gosh. All of my props. And flex the toes towards your nose and press your right hip, your right leg up against gravity. And squeeze your belly in towards your back, and then again, soften enough so that the breath flows in and out. Maybe that right arm floats up. Option here to bend the right knee in, move your hips back, soft bend in the bottom knee. As you grab hold of your top ankle or shin, start to press and kick back through that back foot to coax the shoulder back, move the heart forward, throat back, head reaches back. Woo! I'm serious, my floor is uneven. Slowly release the back foot down. And landing here in your low lunge. Making any micro adjustments you need. Maybe it's a wider stance. And maybe you're dropping the back knee. Wherever you are, and stretch the arms up in line with the ears and remain on this diagonal. And as you move your belly in towards your back and press back powerfully through the back heel, pull the hands into heart. Inhale, lengthen ribs and hips, move apart from each other. And exhale, slowly twist as you cinch the waistline in. Hook your right elbow outside of the left knee. Roll the top shoulder back. And steady yourself, press down into your foundation and feel all those points of contact. And on your exhale, slowly release, touch the floor. Straighten your left leg. Maybe go a little bit shorter in your stance. And fold forward. Parsvottanasana. And now from here, rebend your left knee. And then walk yourself hand over hand into a wide-legged forward fold. As you widen your feet apart, bend the knees slightly and stick your hips back and make a nice crease in your hips, and then slowly begin to fold forward, tipping the pelvis forward, lifting the tailbone high, and straightening the legs any amount. And let the head get heavy. And let the breath slow. You're welcome to stay here, or perhaps interlace your hands behind your back, reaching the shoulders together and away from your ears. Or for a nice stretch in the neck, interlacing your hands around the base of your skull and letting the elbows get really heavy and weighty down towards the floor. And creating a little bit of traction in your spine. Maybe you'll even give yourself a nice massage. And slowly release your hands down. Walk yourself all the way forward to the top of your mat. And as you step your left foot forward and take your feet mat width distance apart, turn the toes out and sink the hips down and walk your hands forward. Get really heavy in your hips here, and then lift the low back in and up. Bringing your hands to heart, the elbows, and kind of prop yourself up here as they press out against the knees. And soften and release the muscles of your pelvic floor. Close the eyes. And take another breath in. And with the eyes closed, just notice what you can feel and experience without the use of sight. And slowly release your hands down and your hips to the mat. And lifting your chest and the arms out in front of you. And go ahead and gather your knees up into your chest and rock and roll yourself. Whoa. Good. Curl your chin in towards your chest. Hug your belly in towards your spine. I'm a big fan of rocking and rolling these days. Not only because, keep going, not only because it feels good, but because it's also just a great way to move without inhibition. Maybe a little silly and playful. And then slowly come all the way back up to sit. And scoot yourself back to a reasonable position somewhere on your mat. And stretch your legs long out in front of you. And from here, I'm going to turn to face you guys. You'll bend your left knee underneath you. And take your right knee over top. And walk your feet apart from each other. So, Gomukhasana is a pretty intense outer hip stretch. And if this isn't feeling great, you can come into pigeon on the right side. And if you're here in Gomukhasana, start to squeeze the inner thighs together. Lean yourself forward. Make a nice big circle with the torso. You can stay here or walk the hands forward. And find the length of your spine and the weightiness of your hips. And what does it mean to tap into our body wisdom? We are this beautifully complex and dynamic organism with a sensation that moves all around us, in us, and through us. It doesn't just come from the top down. What are the ways in which you can inject this more primitive and playful quality into your movements and your everyday life? And take another breath in. And a slow breath out. And walking your hands back in. And lean back onto your hands and move them behind you and gently pick your knees up off the floor. If you're in pigeon pose, you're just going to switch to the other side. If you're in Gomukhasana with us, then fold your right knee underneath you and cross the left leg over top. And start to wiggle your feet apart from each other, just like I'm doing here, until they land in this stacked position. And just move yourself side to side, making these micro adjustments, squeezing the inner thighs to protect the knee joints. And you can stay here if this is enough of a stretch and close your eyes, or there's the option to begin to walk yourself forward, reaching the hips back. And close the eyes and deepen your breath. And sending your breath to any especially tight areas in your body. Maybe imagine an extra set of lungs in that space, or like your breath is moving like water through the tight and tense tissues and just really gently loosening them up. Slowly begin to walk your hands back in. And lean back and untangle your legs. And moving yourself all the way onto your back. And bend the knees. Take your feet nice and wide and apart. And snuggle the shoulders underneath your back just enough so that the front of your chest is broad and gently lifted. And gently gather your knees into your chest. You can slide your hands under the knee joints for a little padding if there's any sensitivity, or on top of your shins for an increase in pressure. Just letting the knees come nice and wide. And feeling the back of the pelvis, specifically your sacrum, anchoring down into the floor. So there's that natural curve in your low back, and the hips aren't scooping and lifting up off the floor, but everything is just dialing back down. Really gentle sensation. And if you like, you can gather your knees all the way into your chest. Wherever you are, gently release your feet down to the floor. And pick your hips up and shift them over to the right. Lower your knees to the left. You'll open your arms up into a cactus shape and look over your right shoulder. And take a deep breath into your belly. And exhale, let it go. Lift your knees back up. Place the feet down, shift the hips up and over to the left side. Letting the knees just gently fall down to the right side of your mat. And if it feels nice on your neck on this side, you'll look over the left shoulder. Eyes stay closed or softly opened. Letting the shoulder blades sink down into the floor. Slowly breathe your knees back up through the center. Bring your arms along your sides. You can choose to extend your legs and let the toes turn out. And sinking into the rest of Shavasana. If that irritates your low back, consider bending the knees, nice and wide stance with the feet, maybe even letting the knees collapse in on the support of one another. Wherever you are, take a deep breath into the belly. Exhale out through the mouth. Imagining the particles settling like sand, slowly floating back down to the ocean floor. Time to pause and rest, not just in between movement, but deeply and intentionally, affords us this moment to allow our body to digest all of this information. Allows us to exit the thinking mind and live more cohesively in both our body and our brain. Feeling this sense of radical wholeness and integration, a sense of safety, a sense of ease, sense of being at home in your body, in your heart, and in your mind. Take another moment to hold the space for yourself here. Just noticing experiencing the vivid feeling of being embodied. Slowly wiggling your fingers, your toes. Breathe your arms up and overhead, point through the toes, reach through the hands, full body stretch. As you bend the knees, roll to one side. Slowly pressing yourself all the way up to sit. Thank you so much for being here. Let's end with a round of breath. Close the eyes. And take a deep breath in. And exhale.